why this redevelopment has started coming in Mumbai. Because if you know, Mumbai city as such, it was a tenanted property. As landowners were not getting the required rent to repair the building, which means the rent was frozen. So you are allowed to charge whatever you are charging. In addition to that, 4% annual increment, which means it is nothing. So the landowners were not able to, what is called as, repair the building also. Therefore, a repair cess started by the government of Maharashtra. They are the first unique type in entire India, where government of Maharashtra is undertaking a responsibility of repairing the building, which is privately owned by the landowner, and then the tenants are not able to repair because they don't have money. So they charge small amount of the property tax as a repair cess, and repair and reconstruction both started repairing the buildings. Now, carrying out the repair, how long they can repair? So therefore, the government of Maharashtra amended the Maharashtra, MADA law, in which they said, section 103 was added, wherein they said that the landowners, whoever is there, if they are not repairing the building, then the MADA will be in a position to repair it by acquiring it, or the tenants can pay 100 times of the rent and acquire the property, so they become the owner and they can do the redevelopment. This option was given. The moment this option is given, the property owners challenge this, because ultimately owning a property is your legal right. It is given in the constitution. When a legal right is there, how can somebody else take out the right just like that? So the litigation, though it was approved by the, or confirmed by the Honorable High Court, Mumbai, but when it went to the Supreme Court has stayed that operation, and today for the last 25 years, nearly 20 to 25 years, this is pending before the Supreme Court. Which means the properties, nobody is developing, even the MADA is not able to repair because the cost of repairing is too much, and therefore, in order to see that the building do come up and the landowners also cooperate, so they came out with the provision as far as tenanted building, that is called cess building in South Mumbai, which was nearly around 22 to 23,000 buildings. Now out of these 23,000 buildings, around 5,000 buildings have been, redone. Remaining 17,000 buildings are still to be redone. 17,500 or odd buildings are still to be developed. Now, in order to do the redevelopment, one, the landowners should get some incentives. The tenants who are staying, they should also get the incentives, and the builders who are going to come and develop the building, they also should get the incentives. Therefore, the incentive started, that is, incentive can be given as Abhishek has rightly pointed out, the incentives can be given only through the floor space index, that is FSI. The more and more FSI is given, naturally the more construction is possible, and then the redevelopment can happen. And therefore, in South Mumbai, the Development Control Rule 33(7) was amended, wherein earlier it was 2 FSI, then 2.5 FSI, and today, as against 1 square foot of land, the developer or the landowner, if they are developing themselves, they can construct 3 square feet. So FSI right now for the South Mumbai, for the tenanted building, which is also known as cess building, is 3 FSI. Now in some cases, this 3 FSI also goes beyond 4, 5, 6, sometimes it is 10. Now the question arises, how so much FSI is possible? Because government said that even if I give 3 FSI, already there is 4 FSI consumed. Because in South Mumbai, where how the buildings are already constructed, there is no open space left, and the entire land, there is a ground floor, and the 4, 5 floors are already constructed. So if all are already occupied, and even if the 3 FSI is given, 4 FSI is given, that is not sufficient. So the DC rule also made a provision saying that in case the tenanted buildings are going to be redeveloped, in that case, the existing tenants will get 300 square feet, residential people will get 300 square foot area. Now, let us say the FSI, though 3 FSI is given, that is not sufficient for even to accommodate the existing tenants. So therefore government said, let us do one thing, every existing tenants whose area is around 300 square foot, they will, or less than 300 square foot, they will get 300 square foot carpet area. Even if you have 100 square foot flat, you will be in the redeveloped building, you will get 300 square foot residential carpet area. Of course, fungible FSI, another 35% is also given. I will explain you what is fungible FSI a little later. But to tell you in simple, if your area of a flat is less than 300 square foot, you get 300. If your area is between 300 to 753 square foot, then you get your existing area, carpet area. And if it is more than 753 square foot, let us say 1000 square foot, then the maximum cap given is 753 square foot. So this way, the entitlement of each tenant is fixed in the DC rule. Second condition which is put is that the existing tenants will become the owners. So with these two conditions, so nobody can say that new building, you will remain as a tenant, you will remain as a owner only. So you have to get the compulsory ownership. In addition to that, now after giving these existing tenants 300 square foot or whatever is the area, this is called the minimum entitlement. For a builder, because he is going to redevelop, he should be financing something, he should get some benefit. Therefore, about 50% of what he is constructing for the existing people is given as an incentive FSI, which means that incentive FSI 50% you will get. Let us say, just to give an example, if there is 1000 square meter land, so that means the land is, let us say, approximately 10,000 square foot. Now in 10,000 square foot, let us assume that there are 100 square foot, 100 flats, which means in 10,000 square foot there are 100 tenants. Now, if every tenant has to be given minimum 300 square foot, that means 30,000 square foot has to be given to the existing tenants, then what will remain to the builder? Nothing. So therefore, in order to accommodate the builder or the one who is doing the development, he should be given some incentive. Therefore, 30,000 you give it to the existing tenants, another 50% you construct on the same building, so that you get another 15,000 square foot. So on 10,000 square foot land, you are able to construct 45,000 square foot, which means the FSI has become 4.5. So this way, the incentive FSI, therefore you will see a lot of pencil towers in South Mumbai. A small piece of land, but you find about 20, 30, 40 story, buildings. And that is how the incentive FSI has come, where if the existing tenants and 50% is less than 3 FSI, then you get 3 FSI. So either 3 FSI or 50% incentive FSI, whichever is more. Then if you have got more than 3 plots together, then you get 68%. If you have got more than 5 plots together, you are doing a cluster, then you get 70% FSI, 70% incentive. So this way, the additional incentives are given to the landowner. Now the question was asked to me about the cluster development. What is cluster development? In the case of cluster development, what happens is minimum land area should be 4,000 square meter, which means nearly 1 acre. So if you have got 1 acre, that is 4,000 square meter land in South Mumbai, then only you are given entitlement of 4 FSI. That means instead of 3 FSI, if you are going for a cluster development, you can construct 4 FSI. Of course, incentive FSI is more, then you will be able to get an incentive FSI. In that case, if you are doing a cluster development where there are more than 5 plots together, then you get existing tenants, whatever area is there, they will get, plus you get nearly 70% over the what has been given to the existing tenants. And of course, during the construction period, you should be given what is known as rent. That of course will be given. And of course, corpus, everything is not required to be given. But nowadays, in order to promote more and more construction and getting more and more tenants coming together, so corpus is also paid. Now, only anomaly here is, unfortunately, 70% tenants should come together. It is not the landowner who decides. It is not the builder who decides. It is not the government who decides. It's all the people should come together, and over and above, tenants also should decide, which is coming little difficult, because 70% tenants should come together and decide and tell that we want to appoint or go for redevelopment. Their consent is required. The landowner also has to give the NOC, because otherwise if the landowner does not give the NOC, the redevelopment does not happen. Then MADA, which is called repair board, they also have to give the NOC. Then of course BMC also comes into picture, and builder also, it should be economical. So therefore, considering all these aspects, the redevelopment in South Mumbai is not taking off the way it is required. The second problem, which of course you may be aware, that Supreme Court has recently held that if you are going for more than 7-story, then fire brigade's NOC is required. And if there is a fire officer's NOC is required, which means you need to leave at least 6 meters, at least one side of the building, for the fire engine to go inside the building. Which means here 350 square meter land, and if 6 meter has to go, that means more than 50-60% plot will go where you will construct. So therefore, the redevelopment, in order to do the redevelopment in South Mumbai, you need to take the help of the adjacent building. The moment you want to take the adjacent building help, again they have got their own issues. So here the people, stakeholders who are involved, whether it is a landowner, whether it is a builder, whether it is a tenant, everybody has a greed. And in order that this greed cannot be met, the redevelopment is not taking the shape that is required to be taken. Because the tenant should always understand, the tenants have always one apprehension. Okay, the builder, landowner has appointed so and so builder. The problem is whether that builder will come up with the building or not. I don't have the doubt. I don't have the confidence. If I don't have the confidence, therefore I am not giving the consent. So he should give me the bank guarantee. He should give this. He should give that. Then the landowner says, I am the landowner. This is my land. Why these people are asking me to give the bank guarantee? Why they are not giving the consent? When you go to the building proposal, that is building proposal department or MADA, they say, where is the 70% consent? You don't have 70% consent, the law says 70% consent. So this way, the things are not taking the shape it is. Otherwise, the redevelopment is one of the best option which is available in South Mumbai, especially for a tenanted building, and it is a win-win situation for everybody. They should